Ready.
Hey everyone, from wherever you are, I hope you had a lovely Friday or you're still having a lovely Friday. Welcome to the Breakthrough channel. My name is Mary Ero. Another Friday, very excited to be here with Jeff. This is Breakthrough with Jeff, and this is the place we live life with zero limits. So, Karibu Jeff, welcome today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mary.
Yes, Jeff,
Yeah.
I am very excited. I hope you had a great day. I know it's at night where you are, so I hope
Yes.
you had a great day, and you're
Yes.
ready for today's discussion. Today's discussion is a very important discussion, and it is
Mm-hmm.
around courage and the
Mm.
courage to be able to live our dreams. I think many people know the kind of life they want to live, but it is
Yes.
fear that holds them back. It is that lack of courage. And so today, thinking through what was best for us to discuss, I thought, why don't we talk about courage and how to courageously live out our dreams? And so, to kick off this session, to introduce us to this session, I have a clip here for us. I'd like us to play that clip to just introduce everyone to today's
To
topic.
act outwardly on what you see inwardly? Or will you die a dreamer? Will you die on the verge and on the edge and in the land of coulda, woulda, and shoulda? Do you have the courage? I'm going to drop something on you. It takes courage to be successful. It is far easier not to be successful. Misery will always have company. Success breeds contempt. If you don't want to make waves, be mediocre. Be normal and fit in. And if you're more concerned about people than you are God, then neutralize everything He put in you. Just fit in with everybody else. Dress like them, walk like them, act like them, eat like them, go where they go, think like they think, do what they do. And once you've neutralized your uniqueness, you don't need courage. It takes courage to be different. It takes courage to go where you've never gone before. For some of you, it took courage to come to this conference. It takes courage to get you outside of the bar. It takes courage to be successful. It takes courage to win. People don't talk about people that don't win. If you win, they're going to talk about you. Do you have the courage to stand there though the storms keep raging and the people get to talking and you stand there and say, I've come too far to turn around? Do you have the courage? I'm gonna say something to you.
Wow.
That is beautiful.
It takes courage.
Courage, courage, courage.
Oh my. That is
Yes.
fire.
That is fire. That's the fire that I want to bring in our session today.
Wow. Oh my God.
Are
Feel
you?
the fire.
That is
The
great,
courage
Jeff.
to live your
That-
life. Yes.
Yeah, yes. I
love
want to
it.
take down the video. I want to take down the
Mhm.
video so that
Mhm.
we can now
Yeah.
really fully begin this discussion. You know what's interesting is courage is something that is spoken of, and even in the spiritual book, the Bible itself, there are two instances that cross my mind right now. When Joshua was about to take over, and this is in Joshua chapter 1. The one thing that he is told is be confident and be courageous. Be courageous. I think actually I'll take that back. It's being courageous and be determined. The
Yeah.
second incident that I recall where I see the word courage is when David is about to die and he's talking to his son Solomon. I think this is the book of Kings chapter 2. I mean Kings 2. And he's also saying the same thing. He's telling Solomon the exact two words: be courageous, be confident, be determined. And so today, let's talk about courage because there's so many people, including myself, who struggle with having courage to live out their dreams by becoming who they truly are, by existing in this world as they are. So take us off by understanding what is your definition of courage? What is the definition of courage as a whole?
Yeah. Well, courage is a special one for me because I mean, even when you look at you see that's courage. That
Your
having
swag.
that's an image of courage.
Ooh,
I'm telling you,
that's a good
breaking through, and you can see it behind me, right here, behind me.
Yes.
Is that young guy there? Speaking of
you.
courage, courage is going for the impossible, even when you feel powerless to go through it. Is having the faith, the belief, the trust that you have whatever it takes within you to go for the impossible. And let me tell you, if I was to choose what I'll live, and I have that choice, by the way, in my children's life. Let's say, let's pick my son, Jason. And I was to make a choice between leaving him all the wealth in the world and leaving courage in his heart. Guess what I would pick? Courage. Because with courage, he can actually create any wealth he wants. He can create any world. The courage we need, all we need to create whatever we desire in this life is courage. And I know people get into the space of, you've tried so many things and your courage battery goes down because you're not seeing results.
Yeah.
And so you can build courage by creating manageable goals. When you achieve a goal, you get the courage to even create a bigger one, and a bigger one, and a bigger one, until now it's rooted in you.
Yeah.
The courage inside of you is awakened. So you know you can create any amount of success that you want to create in this life. It takes courage, like TD Jakes has said in that clip.
Let's talk about the courage to be different around others. And I think that that's perhaps one of the key prominent areas. And I think I personally can reflect back and look at a time where I have done some things that are not truly me. I've most probably done them to please the people around me or to feel like I fit in, even though deep down I knew I was truly betraying myself. And this idea of us being courageous and truly owning who we are around other people affects so many people. How can we slowly build up the courage to be ourselves in our everyday life and in the world, show up as ourselves? What are some of those ways you can think of that can help us to really push past the fear of just trying to fit in?
Yeah. So let's begin by giving permission to yourself instead of seeking permission from others. So you can give yourself permission to light up, to be light unto the world, to show up what you've just said. And I know that those moments where I feel I want to hide, and I feel, you can hide on the shadow of shame, you don't want to show up as you, is because you're giving others, you're asking for permission from others whether you can be yourself.
Permission and validation.
And validation from other people. So at that moment where you begin to train yourself to live life by your terms. Give yourself, live life by your terms. Give yourself that permission to show up, to even when you're not ready, because courage is not the absence of fear. In fact, courage is acting in spite of fear. That's courage. Is, yes, I know that is a dangerous place to walk in, but I need to get on the other side where maybe my family is or my dreams are. Some people, because of lack of courage, is what, bows to fear. When courage is not there, then you bow to fear. But the moment you step out courageously and you allow yourself to believe in possibilities and know that in spite of fear, you can go for your dreams. it doesn't mean that you're not afraid. It doesn't mean that there is no fear. It doesn't mean that fear is not present. Fear can be present, but that is not, part of my script. I'm all looking at courage, and I'm, rooting for courage. And you realize fear makes way for courageous people. Fear will give way to you and say, this one, let her pass. This one, let him pass. Because of courage, there is nothing that is impossible for us. And, this channel is about going past our limits and living life of zero limits. How do we get to a place of zero limits? Courage. Courage.
I want to take us a step back, and the reason I want to do this is so that we can have everyone be able to identify the areas or the type of courage that they need to use in their life, right? You've said one of the first steps to be courageous is to live life in your terms, right?
Yes.
Let's start from there. How do you first start living life in your terms? Let's define that. And then once we've been able to define that, we can be able to pinpoint where in that definition does each individual ask themselves, I'm not living in my terms, how they can now start pulling courage into it.
Yes. So we can do, the only thing we can't do is define the terms for people.
Correct.
Because everyone has to define what are my terms.
That's true. That's true.
Like I can share my terms. My terms is, I believe totally that a life that does not give me joy, peace, and love in the present moment, those are not my terms. And that's a life I want to, no matter what I'm getting out of that, I know I'm not living life by my terms. So the courage to live that life of joy. So my terms is joy, peace, and love, no matter what. So we begin by creating, what are my terms?
Correct. Okay.
Yeah.
So
if
now
success is living life by my terms, what are my terms?
So the first step I'm getting here is, in order for you to even live a courageous life, you first have to identify what are your terms for your life. Because if you don't do that, then you don't even know how to bring in courage, because everything is going and you don't even know if you're living right now. To you, that's courageously. So clearly the first step is understanding what your terms are. And as I've said, yours is peace, love, and joy. I think everyone needs to sit down and think about what their terms are. And so that's the first step. And then I think the other thing I've just understood from you is now really identifying, this is how I'm living my life right now. Is it in line with the terms or not? And if not, especially if not, it's also to now have that courage to go forward and say, I'm going to change this because it is not in line with my terms, which means I'm also not living courageously.
Yes. Point on.
Okay.
Right on. And I tell you, every area of your life, you want to design what is life by my terms in the area of relationships. What is life by my terms in the area of finances? What is the life by my terms in the area of spirituality? In all these key areas of life, you want to be honest with yourself, because courage takes honesty and authenticity and just being truthful with yourself, and not have to judge yourself. So all these different areas of life, you can find terms that run across, but just to help people digest, because people have different key areas of life. Like there's someone right now, their biggest area of challenge is their relationship. You want to begin there. You want to begin in your pain point. Begin in that area, because your mind will take you there whether you like it or not. So in your area of pain, that is where life is calling you to decide your terms, because the fact that there is pain, that means you're not living by your terms, and have the courage to decide what are your terms. Because some people say, okay, I want to change, but then change to what? Change what? What do you want? How different do you want it to be? Because just wanting your life to be different is not enough. How do you want it to be different? So that's where you want to establish what are your terms. Okay, are your terms, a relationship where you are free to be yourself. Are those your terms? Is that what you're living right now? So you can always go back to your terms, even when the relationship is 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. You're always anchored,
To you.
in your through your terms, Yeah.
Question though, when we
Excuse me.
think about creating, as you said, terms in these areas of life,
Yeah.
are we creating terms based on the present, or is it to create terms based on the vision of what it should be? And I'm not sure if both are the same.
Yeah.
It could be that they're the same, but I can, for example, I would say that this is my term. I don't want this. But my vision still is that I don't want this now, but the
Yeah.
best state for me would be that. So is it supposed to be your vision should be you should always align it to your vision? And I don't know if that's very clear, but I think I was still trying to really
We
make sure we understand
we
when you
can
say terms.
we can have a discussion there and bring some clarity, because life is happening when? Now, in the
Now.
past, or in the future? It's now, in this present
Correct.
moment. So it's your terms now.
Now. Okay. It is your terms
Now,
now.
so the human mind has the capacity and the habit of postponing happiness.
Yeah.
And so I say, okay, I'll be happy one day. I'll be happy. So we want to bring it to this present moment. And what you are calling by your terms, it's not things, it's not events, is experience, is how you want to feel.
I think that's very important. It's experience.
Yeah, it's experience. Yeah, it's an experience. You can bring it now. You see, I may be broke right now, and I'm not, by the way.
Yeah.
But I may be broke right now, but I can experience the feeling of joy, abundance, and peace.
Yeah.
I can give myself that gift of that experience right now. So when we say, I'll be happy when I see the money in the bank, when I see the money, you are robbing yourself the experience that actually frees you to begin to release the mindset of the believing, that you're capable of creating that kind of manifestation, of that level of wealth, or whatever it is, whether relationship, health, wealth, and all, these different areas of life.
Yeah.
So don't deny yourself the experience, because the experience can happen. Anything you want to have right now, you can feel.
Yes, that's true. That is very true.
Anything you'll ever desire, the end goal is to feel a certain way.
Yes.
Whether to be rich, it's a feeling. To be, let's say you want to be the president of a country, that experience leads to an emotion.
Yes.
You can give yourself that emotion right now, and that makes you believe that it's possible for you to be that. Now you have the courage to invite what we call the law of attraction, the law of emotion. The law of attraction states that we attract who we are inside.
Yeah.
Who I am inside. So if I'm peace, love, abundance, I attract more of that. The law of emotion states that whatever you feel strongly most of the days in a week is what you experience in your lifetime. And so I want to feel good. I want to feel joy. I want to feel love most of the time. And I know when I'm moving out of my ideal, which is what we are calling life by your terms, I can always come back. I can always come back. And that's why we need that clarity. What are my terms? And your terms is the life of fulfillment. That is your terms. If we can have a general term, the term is life by, that fulfills you, no matter what that is.
Yeah. It's interesting when I think about all successful people, and I think that video has spoken a little bit about it, is courage seems to stand out as one of the traits. But I don't want to just say successful, because success can pass across the different areas of life that you've just mentioned. So I just wanted us to specifically go through two examples. We'll talk about courage when it comes to career, and then we'll touch a little bit about courage when it comes to relationship, and then and so that way we can be able to really give people, now they've understood that first it's defining their terms. The terms
Yeah.
are based really on what they want their experiences to be. Now, how do they start implementing this in their life? And I think career is one big area where, all of us want to wake up and go to work and do something. So how do people have courage in their careers, and where are opportunities where we miss out on being courageous as we go through our careers?
Yeah, so career is an area where we spend most of our life. In fact, most of our life we spend working. And when you're in a career that is not fulfilling, then the energy, most of the emotions you feel, the emotions of frustration, not emotions of fulfillment and joy. So majority of people on the planet are actually in jobs they hate because we are driven to survive. The driving force is survival, it's not fulfillment. So I like to look at career not as a job, but as a mission. When you look at career as a mission, my life mission is something that fulfills you. And I know that people say, okay, right now I'm struggling. There are stories of people that moved from struggle to abundance because they focus not just on a job, they focused on a mission. One of the examples I love is, lady by the name Oprah Winfrey. I don't know how many people know her.
I don't know.
She is known.
I don't know how many.
So this is a woman that, against her odds, I mean, how would you predict that someone born to a teenager
in rural Mississippi,
yes, and grow up in an environment of abuse, and desire to be somebody in life that should ever amount to anything? How, that life that she's living right now,
is unimaginable, is unimaginable. And I just want to really expound on her example, as you said. I mean, I think first, this was also in the 1950s, and her grandmother, who was taking care of her, was actually working for the white folks, washing clothes, and part of their conversation was the grandmother was like, I hope whoever you get to work for is a good master compared to what I have. And it was interesting when she says, the minute, the grandmother told her that, she ended up saying in her head or in her mind or in her spirit as well, that will not be me. But it is completely unimaginable. It's like writing a story that we cannot see at all.
Yeah. And that's the point. The point I was driving is, it's all about how you see yourself when it comes to your career, to your relationship. Oprah said, this is not going to be me. It's a statement of identity. The identity you bring in your work, in your mission, that is what will make way for you. But if you don't believe in yourself, you don't believe in your capability, in your mission, in your ability to create something that never existed, then you will never know the potential, the power of the Oprah inside of you. Because inside of all of us, there's an Oprah.
Yeah.
There's an Oprah that is giving us that message of, it's possible. If only I can define me and know that as long as I define me and live life by me standard, by me, this is by my terms, that's it. I can come out of this level, I can come out of whatever level I'm in. Go on, Mary.
So when I think about courage career, it really touches on really believing in your capabilities and really asking and really connecting your mission with what you're aligning as your career or your day-to-day job, because that's where you spend most of the time. But we live in this situation, and you've really touched on that, especially when it comes to careers where people are trying to survive. Hey, look, I don't like this job, but it pays my bills, it pays my rent. How do those people who are in that situation, who really know they're not living their mission, but at the same time they're the breadwinners of their home, how do they start a point of courage? And I think that particular conversation is why many people are still doing the things they don't like, because there's
Yeah.
never a true discussion around, okay, you're in this situation that you don't like. You
Yeah.
really can see it's not in line with your mission. How then do I start slowly stepping out in courage? If the word is slowly, either boldly or slowly, but
Or slowly. I
how do
think
they start?
boldly. Look, it's not about circumstances. Circumstances don't make a man or a woman. They don't. They don't define us. Otherwise, today we will not have Oprah. We will not have, the guy that just went to space. There are two guys
There are
now.
two, Jeff Bezos and Sir
Yeah,
Richard Branson.
we will not have guys like this that are really living their dreams. It's not about circumstances. So this, I'll give you, excuse me, a secret, something that can help you for the rest of your life. Listen. So no matter what you're going through right now, don't project the emotions of the circumstances you're going through. Project the emotions of your vision and your dream.
Ooh,
I can be, yes,
tweet,
I,
tweet. Let's tweet that. Where's your
yes,
pen? Let's tweet that.
exactly.
Continue. I don't want to interrupt you, but I was going to repeat that statement, but
Yeah,
continue. I don't want to cut you off.
I can be in the worst of circumstances, but that does not, I don't have to behave as and project the energy of where I am at that moment. And I say this because I've visited people in the ghetto where we say, okay, this is where poor people, live. But I've seen wealthy people there. People that have this vibration of abundance and joy and peace. And I connect with those people because I know. I tell people, watch this one, watch this one, watch this one, watch this. Because the energy emitting from them is the energy, is the energy of wealth, peace, abundance. It's only a matter of time. They attract the right person who connects them to the right idea, the right project. You hear this person is starting up a company, and because they have been prepared by hardship of life, they become the best managers. They manage their company. They hire the guy with an A+ that went to the best university. Why? They have been prepared by life, but also they took responsibility on their vibration. And this is the only thing we have responsibility over, your vibe. No one can control that. You can have the best education and have the worst vibration. I tell you, you're going nowhere. But you can have, not so much education in terms of resources. Listen to this. It's not about resources. It's about resourcefulness. And that is it.
That's a nice one. It's not about resources, it's about resourcefulness. You are right.
Yeah,
you
and
are
anyone
so
can
right.
be resourceful at any moment. It's a decision to step into the energy of resourcefulness, the energy of being resourceful. And some of us, they say, oh, I'm feeling like this because of what happened, because of events. Don't define us unless we allow them to. They don't. And I know right now you may be going through a tough time and you're saying, oh, Jeff is not feeling me. I tell you, let me tell you, if you're in that environment where you feel overwhelmed, do not agree with that script. Because the more you agree with that script of this is my life, this is the way I am, let me tell you what you become. You define yourself as a victim of circumstances. And life is happening to you.
Not from you.
Not from you. Now you can change that narrative like Oprah and say, okay, not me. Life happens from me. I'll be the leading, TV star of all time. Right there. It begins with that decision. And Oprah can go back to the time when she made that decision. She wasn't rich. No one knew her. In fact, she was going through rejection. She was going through weight issues, people talking about her, rape and all that. But she went through all that because of redefining herself. I tell you, it's not about what people have defined you or the way the world has defined you. Even, can I tell you something about me? I was defined as the shy boy. That was my identity at some point in my life. Can you imagine with that identity, I wouldn't do my job today. Sometimes the world defines you a certain way. If you agree with it, yeah, there's what we call agreement. If you agree with the way life is defining you, then I tell you, you've limited yourself. But when you step into zero limits, where no one can limit you apart from you, then give yourself permission, free yourself. Tell yourself it's possible if I make this decision, but I have to believe in me. Live life by my terms. Decide what those terms are. Create the vision that is aligned to my terms and be non-negotiable. Don't negotiate with your terms. Now, some of us, we decide our terms and tomorrow, okay, maybe for no. Live by your terms. That's why most of us need a coach to have a conversation on what are my terms. If success is living life by my terms, by the way, that's how I define success. Success is not big car, is not going to space. No, it's life by my terms. What are your terms? If your terms is to be a teacher to this world, to be an influencer, a leader, a mentor, those are your terms, is to be a happy, be an example of abundance, peace, and joy. Those are your terms. Live by that standard.
Yes. Oh, I like it. And I feel like we don't even need to go. I know we are, kind of sort of running short on time, but I don't feel like we even need to delve into the relationship aspect, because I think everything that you have said applies to all the areas of life.
That's right.
We've used career as an example. And so I don't even feel like there's a big need to summarize, but I'll still summarize because I think we've summarized it all. And I would say that, therefore, when we think about courage, our first step is to be able to ask ourselves, are we living life in our terms? And that will start by us defining what are our terms. And that will require us to really evaluate our life and really look at every area of our life, whether it's finances, career, relationship, and define our terms based on who we are and what we want. And when thinking through your terms, it's more so about your experiences. That's what we mean when we talk about terms. And of course, standing by the non-negotiables and not moving that. And as we think about especially career, it's really being able to believe in our capabilities. That's the first step. And to also realize that our circumstances do not limit us, and to be able to show up every day in whatever we are doing, even if we are not where we want, by emotionally connecting with where we want to be, and show up as that person every single day. And slowly, that process of really showing up courageously as who we want to be or where we want to be will start trickling down to our other areas of our lives. And our circumstances will change slowly over time, or boldly over time. That doesn't matter. But to be able to really remember that we are not defined by our circumstances, and that we just need to redefine who we are and live life in our own terms. And I don't know, Jeff, if I've missed anything in that summary, but I'm just trying to bring everything full circle for everyone when it comes to courage and defining it and how we can apply it in our lives.
That's fantastic. Hashtag resourcefulness.
Yeah, resourcefulness. Yes, absolutely.
Be resourceful this week. Find, to step out throughout the day in a resourceful state. Do anything to get there. Thank you, Mary.
Well, thank you very much, Jeff. And if you guys have any questions, remember you can leave your question in the comment below. Please hit subscribe. It will be great for us to gain followers here, and also be able to bring more people to be able to change people's life. And of course, Jeff's information will be down below. Feel free to reach out to him and for other additional coaching services that he and his team offer. So thank you, everyone. Wish you a lovely weekend ahead, and until next time. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you. Good night.